So here in the last session we have discussed some fundamental components of Android. We have discussed what is activity, what is view, what is content provider, what are services. Whenever we create any Android application that works on the Android device, all the application must have activities, all the applications must have views. A view is nothing but the user interface and the activity is nothing but the mobile screen. Activity is actually one class in Java, and this activity represents one single mobile screen. View means the user interface, means the text view, edit text, button, image button. So many user elements are there. Intents are used to bind the activities. To transfer data from one activity to another activity, we use the intent concept. And some application may have services, content providers, broadcast receivers. Services means the background processes. Content providers are used to share data between applications, and broadcast receivers are used to send or respond to the messages. This thing we have discussed in the previous session. Now here, to create Android application, there are two editors that we can use. Number one we can use the Eclipse, and number two we can use the Android Studio. Android applications create करण्यासाठी आपण Eclipseचा वापर करू शकतो किंवा आपल्याला Android Studio याचा देखील वापर करता येऊ शकेल. आणि अशा प्रकारच्या Eclipse किंवा Android Studio मधून जे ॲप्लिकेशन आपण डेव्हलप करू त्याचं टेस्टिंग जर आपल्याला करायचं असेल तर आपल्याला AVD म्हणजे Android व्हर्च्युअल डिव्हाइस किंवा इम्युलेटर ज्याला म्हणतात, हा इम्युलेटर आपण क्रिएट करू शकतो. टू टेस्ट द ॲप्लिकेशन्स दॅट वी डेव्हलप युजिंग Eclipse और Android Studio, we can make use of the AVD Android virtual device or emulator to test the application. And AVD allows developers to test their applications without hooking up an actual Android device. Basically we can test the applications on the actual device also. आपल्या कॉम्प्युटरला आपला ॲक्च्युअल डिव्हाइस जोडून त्याच्यावरती देखील आपल्याला ॲप्लिकेशन्स टेस्ट करता येऊ शकतात. और वी कॅन यूज द AVDs. आपण AVDs देखील क्रिएट करू शकतो Android व्हर्च्युअल डिव्हाइस. टुडे वी विल सी हाऊ टू क्रिएट द AVD ऑल्सो. Now there is one point to remember, runtime environment. जसं की जावा ॲप्लिकेशन एक्झिक्यूट करण्यासाठी JVM हा रनटाईम एन्व्हायरमेंट वापरला जातो, जावा व्हर्च्युअल मशीन. सर अँड्रॉइडमध्ये अँड्रॉइड ॲप्लिकेशन्स एक्झिक्यूट करण्यासाठी DVMचा वापर केला जातो. द DVM डाल्विक व्हर्च्युअल मशीन इज अन अँड्रॉइड व्हर्च्युअल मशीन विच इज ऑप्टिमाइज्ड फॉर मोबाईल डिव्हाइसेस. इट इज यूज्ड टू एक्झिक्यूट द अँड्रॉइड ॲप्लिकेशन्स एक्झिक्यूट करण्यासाठी DVMचा वापर केला जातो. इन द प्रिव्हियस पार्ट वी डिस्कस्ड हाऊ अन अँड्रॉइड ॲप्लिकेशन्स आर एक्झिक्युटेड. Basically we know that we create the Android application using Java language. So here we first create the .java files. These .java files are converted to .class files using the JavaC compiler. The compiler in Java is used to convert the source code into the bytecode, and the bytecode is nothing but it is an intermediate code developed by Sun, used to the JavaC compiler used to execute or convert the Java code into the .class code or bytecode. That means it creates one file called as a .class file. After that, this .class file is converted to one more file called as a .dex file, which is called as a Dalvik executable file, and this dex file is again converted to .apk, which is the final executable file which is transferred, which is installed onto the Android device. कोणत्याही Android device वरती ही APK फाईल लोड केली जाते किंवा इन्स्टॉल केली जाते. This is how the process flow or the execution of Android applications are done. Here you can see, first we write the Java files. The Java compiler converts the Java files into class files. The class files are converted to .dx file using the dx compiler. And there is one tool called as AAPT tool, Android Asset Packaging tool, which converts the dx file into final APK file that we can use to install in a computer. Now here, Android Eclipse. Eclipse is one of the most widely used editor for developing the Android applications. And to install the Eclipse, nowadays ADT bundles are available. Actually, ADT bundle is nothing but it is a combination of so many softwares. ADT bundle is available with some predefined configurations. No need to install all tools separately. If you want to develop Android applications, you have to install Eclipse, you have to install ADT plugin, you have to install Android SDK, you have to download Android platform tools, you have to download the latest Android system images for the emulator, because to test the application we create the emulator, and to create the emulator we need some system images. Now here there is no need to download all the required softwares separately. If you download the single file called as a ADT bundle, it includes everything you need to begin developing the applications. So this ADT bundle provides everything you need to start developing the applications, including the Eclipse, including the ADT plugin, including the SDK tools. Here you can see, if you install the ADT bundle on C drive, go to this C drive. If you install the ADT bundle, in this ADT bundle there is an Eclipse folder which contains the Eclipse IDE, Integrated Development Environment, that means the editor. There is one more folder called as a SDK which contains the software development kit for Android, and there is one more file called as a SDK manager. How to make use of this SDK manager we will see. So here in this ADT bundle there are 3 points: Eclipse, SDK and SDK manager. The Eclipse is the IDE, the Eclipse is the software that we should use for developing the application. All we have to do is we have to unpack the zip file, we have to unzip the zip file, and we can start developing the application. You can see there is one Eclipse folder, and this Eclipse folder contains the Eclipse IDE. Simply we have to double click the Eclipse folder and open the eclipse.exe file. We will start the Eclipse, and in using the Eclipse we will create the Android application. There is one more folder in ADT called as a SDK folder which contains Android related installations, means all the Android libraries will be present in the SDK folder. This is the folder which has your Android SDK, all the tools, all the virtual device images. See in the previous presentation, in the previous slide I told you how the Android applications are executed. To execute the Android application we need to use this dx tool. This dx tool converts the class file into .dx file. So where is the dx tool? This dx tool is available in the SDK folder. You can see, open the C drive, and in the C drive go to this ADT bundle folder. In this ADT bundle folder open the SDK folder, and in the SDK folder you will find all the tools. Okay, open the tools folder. Here you will see all the tools which are required for developing the applications, means all the development tools are available here. Here you can see there is one more folder called as a platforms. In this platform folder we have downloaded 3 platforms. This is API level 20, API level 22, API level 23. What is this API level we will see later. In each platform you will see some different tools and some required libraries. These libraries are actually used in the Eclipse. To develop the application, these libraries are used in the Eclipse. So this SDK folder contains all you need. This SDK folder contains all the tools you need to develop the application, It contains the virtual device images, it contains the software development kit, libraries and so on. SDK tool means actually you can see there is a tool folder. I told you there is one tool folder inside the SDK, and which comes with some pre-bundled with a set of useful tools to perform some variety of operations, okay, including the DX tool, including the AAPT tool. All the tools are available in the SDK tools folder. And in the previous session we discussed this hello world example, how to create this hello world file. I told you open this Eclipse folder, and in that Eclipse folder start the Eclipse. Once again we will execute the hello world application, but today we want to see the details of hello world application, how the programs are executed, what is the directory structure. These things we are going to discuss. Now here I want to start this Eclipse. Now here, until this Eclipse starts, I want to tell you one more concept. Here you can see this is the abstract of process flow or flow of execution. I told you first the Java files are converted to class files. The class file is converted to .dxo file. .dxo file is converted to .apk file. This is just the abstract. We will see the detailed part now. Basically, whenever we write the Android application, we create some Java files. We create some class files, .java files. Suppose this is a.java file. Suppose this is b.java file. We create the Java files. And these Java files are actually converted to class file. Suppose this is one Java file and this is another Java file. Like that, in one application there can be number of Java files. And all the Java files are converted to .class files. Suppose there is one compiler called as a JavaC compiler, and this JavaC compiler will convert this a.java file and b.java file into the class file. So there will be one class file a.class, there will be another class file called as a b.class. So two class files will be created. And who will create this class file? There is one compiler called as a JavaC compiler. This is a JavaC compiler. This JavaC compiler will convert all the Java files to class files. Now whenever we develop the Android application, there is only Java file. There is not only Java file, but there are some different types of files are also created. For example, along with this Java code, there is one file called as a Android manifest.xml. There is one more file that we use in Android application, which is called as Android manifest. This Android manifest.xml file is the deployment descriptor. This Android manifest.xml file is actually the deployment descriptor. This deployment descriptor is also converted to a Java file. Whatever we write in this XML file, this XML is actually converted to one Java file. What is this Java file? I will tell you. Here the Android or the Eclipse actually creates so many .class files. It creates so many Java files, and all the Java files are converted to .class files. For example, along with this Java code, there will be one file called as a Android manifest. Android manifest.xml. Android manifest.xml. Android application जेव्हा आपण क्रिएट करतो तेव्हा त्यामध्ये फक्त आणि फक्त जावा कोडच असतो असं नाही, तर या जावा कोड बरोबर एक XML फाईल पण असते Android manifest, आणि ही XML फाईल देखील एका जावा फाईलमध्ये कन्वर्ट केली जाते. दिस XML फाईल इज ऑल्सो कन्वर्टेड टू जावा फाईल. ही XML फाईल देखील एका जावा फाईलमध्ये कन्वर्ट केली जाते. त्या फाईलचं नाव आहे r.java फाईल. दॅट फाईल इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ r.java फाईल. दिस r.java फाईल इज अ जनरेटेड जावा फाईल. auto generated Java file. Our Android will create one Java code called as a r.java file. And who will create this Java file? There is one tool actually, and the tool is called as a apt tool. There is one tool called as a apt tool, Android Asset Packaging tool. This will create one Java file, and this Java file is also converted to class file. ही जी Java file आहे, ही Java file देखील एका class file मध्ये convert होते. This Java file is also converted to one class file called as a r.class file. And who will convert the Java into class file? Of course, there is a Javac compiler. The Javac compiler converts all the Java files into .class files. So here also it uses the Javac compiler, and the Javac compiler will create one more class file. So you can see here there is one class file, this is the another class file, and this is the one more class file. 3 class files are created. Now our Android application also contains some resources. Our Android application also contains some resources. That means our Android application contains some non-code related files. Non-code related files. That means it contains images, it contains videos, it contains audio files, it contains some PDF files, some HTML files, okay, some XML files, okay. So many non-code related files are also there in the Android application. So what about these resources? These are called as resources, and these resources means nothing but all the image files, .jpg, .png, XML file, .html file, PDF files. So many resource files will be there. Basically, these resource files are also converted to Java code. These resource files are also converted to Java code. And the name of the Java file is the r.java file. Here in Android there is one tool called as a apt tool. apt means Android Asset Packaging tool, and this apt tool converts the resources also into the Java. Android application create करत असताना जावा कोड टाइप करण्याबरोबरच XML फाईल पण असतात आणि काही रिसोर्सेस पण असतात, आणि हे सर्व रिसोर्सेस देखील एका जावा कोडमध्ये कन्वर्ट केले जातात. इमेजेस, व्हिडिओज किंवा ऑडिओ जावा फाईलमध्ये कसं कन्वर्ट केलं जातं हे आपण पुढे डिस्कस करूया. But there is one auto generated file called as a r.java file. This file is created automatically. Okay, the r.java file is created automatically by apt tool. This apt tool creates r.java file automatically, and this r.java file, which is a Java code, contains references to the resources. It contains references to the resources. आपण जेव्हा एखादी इमेज क्रिएट करतो किंवा एखादा व्हिडिओ फाईल, ऑडिओ फाईल, PDF फाईल आपण जेव्हा सेव्ह करतो, तर ती फाईल मेमरीमध्ये कुठे ना कुठेतरी स्टोअर होईल ना. दॅट फाईल विल बी स्टोर्ड समवेअर इन टू द मेमरी. सपोज दिस इज वन मेमरी ब्लॉक, दिस इज अनदर मेमरी ब्लॉक, okay, this is one more memory block, and in all the memory blocks we created some different files. And whenever the file is created into the memory has some address, and that address is actually stored in a variable, and that variable is stored in the r.java file. Like that, the r.java file contains references of resources. We are going to open this r.java file today. Eclipse मध्ये आज आपल्याला ही r.java फाईल ओपन पण करून बघायची आहे, and we will see how this class file is created, how this r.java file is created. Now along with this Java code, along with this XML code, along with these resources, there are some AIDL code is also available. AIDL code. Okay, Android creates some other code called as a AIDL code. What is AIDL? Means Android Interface Definition Language. And using the Android Interface Definition Language, we create some services, we create some code using the Android Interface Definition Language. That means it is some kind of AIDL code. This AIDL code actually is used to provide the inter-process communication. What is this inter-process communication? We will see later. Now there is another point to remember. This AIDL code is also converted to one Java code. This AIDL code is also converted to one Java file called as a myservices.java. There is one more file created. It is called as a myservices.java. I am telling you the detailed process flow of execution. I told you the Android application development is done using the Java language, and whenever we use the Java language we create some Java files. The Java files are converted to class file using Java compiler. Along with the Java code there is Android manifest.xml. There are some resources. These contents are also converted to Java code, and there is one file which is created automatically by the APT tool, r.java, and this Java code is also converted to one class file. Along with this, I am telling you there is something called as a AIDL, Android Interface Definition Language. Using this tool also we create some code, and this code is also converted to one Java code. And who will convert this? Who will convert it? There is one tool called as a AIDL tool. The tool name is itself AIDL, and this AIDL tool converts the AIDL code into .java file, and this .java file is also converted to .class file. Okay, wherever there is a .java file, there is a .class file. Like that, there are several class files are created. Like that, there are several class files are created, and now all the class files are converted. All the class files are converted to a single file. All these class files are converted to one single file called as a .dex file. There is one file called as a .dex file, something like this, classes.dex, something like this. Classes.dex is created. Classes.dex. Who will create this? I will tell you. This class file is converted to .dex file. This class file is also converted to .dex file. This r.class is also converted to .dex. Means there will be only one single file created for all the classes. If there are 100 Java files, there will be 100 class files, and if there are 100 class files, there will be only one .dex file. And who will do this? There is one tool called as a dx tool. This is the tool name. The tool name is the dx tool. This dx tool will convert all the class files into .dx file. This dx file means Dalvik executable file, and this Dalvik executable file is actually the Android application called as a unaligned Android application. And this .dx file is converted finally to the APK file. This is the final APK file that we use to install in our application, to install in our Android. This is one APK file is created. The name of the application may be my application.apk. Whatever the name you have created, whatever the name you have specified at the time of creating the application. And who will do this? There is one tool called as a APK builder tool. There is one tool called as a APK builder tool which will create the .apk file from the .dx file. The tool name is the APK builder. The APK builder will create the .apk file. So this is the detailed process flow of execution. This image I will share with you just for understanding. Now you can see here, in the previous session I created one application called as a first application. In this first application, if you explore the folders, if you explore the directory folders, you will see there is one Java file which is created, main activity.java, and this is simply some Java code. I want to open this file, main activity.java, and this main activity.java is nothing but it is one public class. It is one activity. Activity means what? Activity means it represents a single mobile screen. This is one activity which is created. And in this activity there are some methods. What are these methods? We will see details. If you go to some more folder, you will see there is one r.java file created. This r.java file, actually this r.java file is an auto generated file. No need to modify or no need to write anything here. This is the automatically generated Java class. The name of the class is the class R, and this class contains some references to the images. This class contains the references to the resources. What are resources, how it is created, everything we will see later. Along with this, there are some resources also. There are some images are also available. You can see this is the iclauncher.png image, which is the default icon image available in the Android, and this is the Android manifest.xml file, and all this actually is converted to one single file called as APK file. If you open this bin directory, in this bin directory you will see this final APK file which we need to launch in our Android device. So this is the detail of Hello World application. Now today I want to discuss with you the directory structure of the project. Whenever you create a new Android application project, one directory structure is created automatically, and we have to discuss the directory structure. The directory structure means actually the project consists of so many folders, combination of different folders where different files are stored, different contents are stored. You can see here, whenever you create any application, some directory structure is created, and this directory structure we are going to understand today. What is the use of each folder and what are the elements which are stored in each folder. So you can see here, suppose this is your project. The project name is the first application. This is the project name. The project name is the first application, and in this first application project there will be one folder called as a SRC. There is one folder called as a SRC folder. The first folder name is the SRC folder. The second folder is the Gen folder. There is one folder called as a Gen folder. These are the important folders. First is the SRC folder, second is the Gen folder, next is the Assets folder. After Assets folder there will be one Bin folder. After Bin folder there is one folder called as a Lib or Libs folder. After that there is one more folder called as a Res folder. These are the folder names. These are the important folder names. Res folder, and also there is one file called as a Android manifest.xml. So these are the important directories in our project. You can see here, whenever you will create a project, there will be one SRC folder, Gen folder, one Asset folder, Bin folder, Libs, Res folder, and there is one file Android manifest.xml. Now what is the use of this SRC folder? What is the use of this SRC folder? This SRC folder contains all the Java source files. This SRC is one directory. And which contains all the Java source files. This directory, this SRC folder contains all the Java source files. This folder contains all the .java files. Means whenever you create the Java files, all the Java files will be created in the SRC folder. For example, whenever you create a Hello World project, there will be one file called as a main activity.java file. The name can be different actually, but by default, whenever you create one application, there is one default file called as a main activity.java file. If you want to change the name, you can change the name also. Next, there is one more folder called as a Gen folder. What is this Gen folder? This Gen folder contains one auto-generated Java code. Gen folder also contains one Java file. This Gen folder also contains one Java file. This folder contains auto-generated r.java file. there will be one file in this folder, and the file name is the r.java file. What is this r.java file? This r.java file is a auto-generated Java code which contains the references of resources. Now what are resources and how the references are stored in this r.java file, everything we will see. Right now you can see, if you open your folder and if you see here, there will be one file called as a r.java file available in the gen folder. The next folder name is the assets folder. What are assets actually? Asset means permanent resources. This folder will contain the permanent resources. Permanent resources or some static files. Permanent resources or some static files. That means sometimes we can use some logos. Whenever we create the application contains some logo files, some logos. It contains some HTML files. It contains some XML files. It contains some PDF files. Means whatever you want static. Static means what? Some permanent resources. That means the contents that you want to use in our application as a logo, as an image, HTML files, audio, video, anything we can put here in this folder. Right now if you open your folder in Eclipse, there is nothing, it is blank. We can store some files, we can store some images into assets folder which are static, which cannot be changed, which cannot be accessible. Next one, there is one folder called as a bin folder. This bin folder contains the .apk file that we can copy and paste to any device. It contains the .apk files. That means if the application name is the first application, if the project name is the first application, it will contain this application first app.apk. This will be available in the bin folder. Okay, if you see here, this is the bin folder and the bin folder contains the apk file. I can copy this file. Copy, and I will paste it onto the desktop, and easily I can transfer this file to anyone using pen drive. Maybe I can upload it into the Play Store. Right now you can see, once again I am attaching this file in the file box. Okay, yesterday if you have not downloaded, you can download today, and you can try installing this application into your actual mobile. You will see some output. So this is the bin folder which contains the apk files. Next there is one folder called as a lib or libs folder. Now what is this libs or libs folder contains? This libs or libs folder contains some libraries. It will contain some libraries. This folder contains libraries. What kind of libraries? Basically, while creating some applications, we use some libraries. Okay, for example, just consider like you are creating one geo application, and in the geo application, if you want to connect to database, Oracle database, you will need some jar file like ojdbc14.jar, mysql.jar. Like this, you can place some third-party libraries here. Okay, mostly whenever we discuss about the XML parsing, JSON parsing concepts, we are going to use some third-party libraries. We can store here some third-party libraries. We can store here third-party libraries. Anything we can store here. For example, xyz.jar file that we can store in this lib or libs folder. Right now you can see in this libs folder there is one file called as a android support v4.jar file. Something is there, the jar file, some library is there. Now along with this lib folder there will be one more folder. There will be one more folder called as a Android folder. Sometime it is Android 5.1 folder, sometime it is Android 6.0 folder. Okay, right now you can see there is one folder called as a Android 6.0. Why the folder name is 6.0? because while creating the Android application project, you can see here, if I go to file, new Android application project, here I am selecting compile with 6.0. If I choose compile with 6.0, automatically there will be one folder 6.0. If I select compile with Android 5.1, for this project there will be one folder 5.1. You can see here I am creating here second application, second app. The package name is the com.secondapp. Minimum required SDK I want Jelly Bean. Target SDK I want something 6.0. Click on next, uncheck this option, click on next, click on next, click on finish. Now if you create one more application, there will be one more folder created. This folder also contains the same directory structure, but this time I am compiling with 5.1, so there will be one folder called as a 5.1. Like this, there will be one folder 5.1. So what this folder contains? This 5.1 or 6.0, whatever the folder name appears here, this folder contains the Android related library. This folder contains the Android related libraries. In Android, we use some classes like activity class, we use some classes like open SQL helper. Okay, so many classes we use here. So here this folder contains Android related libraries. Some Android related libraries are available in this folder. That means there will be one file called as a android.jar. The file name is the android.jar. This information is very useful information actually. Okay, if you want to develop some complex application, these details are very important. Means directly you cannot start developing the application without having knowledge of this, because this jar file, this Java file which is created, this Java file is created automatically, okay, for all the resources and all the files we are using in our application. So the knowledge is important how this file is created, and before we understand how this file is created, we have to know what are the files which are stored in different folders. This thing we are going to understand, and this will be another very important folder which I am coming here. You can see here the project is created, and when the project is created, for this second app the folder is created Android 5.1. This will contain the jar file, and where this jar file is available, you can see C drive ADT bundle. You can see the path here. Okay, C drive ADT bundle. Okay, under this ADT bundle there is a SDK folder. Under this SDK folder there is a platform folder. Under platform folder there is Android 22 folder. From that folder it is taking this android.jar file. If you see in the first application project, it is taking that file from the 23. Android 23 means this is the API level folder. From this folder it is taking this jar file. And whatever classes you are using in your application actually are available in that library which we are using. Now the next very important folder is the res folder, and the res folder contains so many subfolders. In the res folder there are so many subfolders, and what are the subfolders that we are going to discuss here. This res folder is going to contain so many subfolders. As you can see here, the first subfolder, what is the first subfolder? The first subfolder is the drawable folder, drawable_HDPI folder. In this res folder there will be one folder called as a drawable_HDPI. Like that there will be one more folder, and the folder name is the drawable_LDPI folder. Like that there will be one more folder, and what is the folder name? The folder name is the drawable_MDPI folder. Okay, these are the folders MDPI, LDPI. Okay, there will be one more folder called as a XHDPI folder, drawable_XHDPI folder. Like that there will be so many folders. There is one more folder called as a drawable folder. After that, there is one more folder called as a values folder. Very, very important folder, values folder. Next one, there will be one folder called as a layout folder. This is also another very important folder, layout folder. After this layout folder, there will be one more folder called as a layout_land folder. Layout_land folder. After that, there is one more folder called as a layout_square folder. Layout_square folder. Next one, there is one more folder called as anim folder. Anim folder. Next one is the menu folder. Menu. And the other one is the raw folder. Like this res folder, which is a very important folder, this folder contains so many subfolders. All of them, they are subfolders. Drawable HDPI, drawable MDPI, drawable LDPI, drawable XHDPI, simply drawable folder, values folder, layout, layout land, layout square, anim, menu, and raw folder. Now what is the detail of each folder we will see in the next session. Having knowledge about this directory structure is very important, because only understanding this directory structure we will come to know the r.java file, and only after understanding the r.java file we will be able to access the resources programmatically in the coding. So understanding r.java file is very, very important, and to understand the r.java file, actually we are discussing this directory structure, and once we finish discussing about this directory structure, we will come to know how this r.java file is created. आणि ही r.java फाईल कशी क्रिएट होते हे समजल्यानंतरच आपल्याला हे रिसोर्सेस आपल्याला आपल्या ॲप्लिकेशनमध्ये प्रोग्रामॅटिकली ॲक्सेस करता येऊ शकतील. हाऊ टू ॲक्सेस द रिसोर्सेस, दिस इज वन मोर टॉपिक, and we will discuss these topics in our followed sessions. So here I want to stop today's session. In this session I discussed with you two very important topics. Number one, detailed process flow of execution, and number two, directory structure. Now how to connect your real mobile, how to connect your actual mobile to the computer, and how to test the application on your mobile. What are the requirements? Number one requirement, very important topic I am telling you. Number one requirement, connect your mobile. Your mobile means it should be Android mobile. It should be Android mobile. Connect your Android mobile. This Android mobile must have at least Jelly Bean. At least Jelly Bean. After Jelly Bean you can have KitKat also. After Jelly Bean you can have KitKat also. You can have Lollipop also. Okay. At least the minimum required version you will be having, that is the Jelly Bean. So connect your mobile to computer. Okay. Connect your mobile to computer using the cable. Second thing, install ADB interface driver. ADB interface driver for your mobile. Now what is this ADB interface driver? This ADB interface driver is also called as Android USB drivers. You can easily find on the Google. Okay, you can easily find on the Google. Okay, just connect your mobile to the computer. Right click to my PC properties. Right click to my PC properties and go to device manager. Go to this device manager. In this device manager, या डिवाइस मॅनेजरमध्ये गेल्यानंतर तुमचा मोबाईल इथे इन्स्टॉल्ड दिसायला पाहिजे. ओके, तुमचा जो मोबाईल आहे, सी दिस इज माय मोबाईल. ओके, आय एम युजिंग सम चायनीज मोबाईल, झोलो मोबाईल मी यूज करतो आहे. तर त्या झोलो मोबाईलचा ADB ड्रायव्हर इथे इन्स्टॉल झालेला तुम्हाला दिसतो आहे. दिस इज द ACB और ADB ड्रायव्हर इंटरफेस. तुमच्याकडे जर सॅमसंग मोबाईल असेल, कुठलाही अँड्रॉइड मोबाईल असेल, लिनोवो असेल, मोटोरोला असेल किंवा LG असेल, कुठलाही असेल, तर तुमच्या मोबाईलचं नाव इथं डिस्प्ले होईल किंवा असा ADB इंटरफेस डिस्प्ले होईल. आणि जर याला येलो आयकॉन दिसत असेल अशा प्रकारे, तर याचा अर्थ आहे की तो ड्रायव्हर इन्स्टॉल झालेला नाही आहे. तर सिम्पली तुम्हाला काय करायचं आहे, गुगलमध्ये जायचं आहे. सिम्पली गो टू गुगल, आणि इन दिस गुगल यू विल राईट ADB ड्रायव्हर. तुम्हाला काय टाईप करायचं आहे, डाउनलोड ADB इंटरफेस ड्रायव्हर आणि त्याच्या पुढे तुमच्या मोबाईलचं मॉडेल नंबर टाईप करायचा आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, आय विल गो टू दिस google.com and in this google.com I will type here ADB interface driver for Zolo Q1010i आणि एंटर बटन प्रेस केलं तर तुम्हाला अशी इन्फॉर्मेशन मिळतील, झोलो ऑल फोन्स USB ड्रायव्हर फॉर विंडोज, USB डिबगिंग फॉर इंटेल झोलो. ओके, म्हणजे तुम्हाला हे डाउनलोड झोलो USB ड्रायव्हर असे शब्द तुम्हाला मिळतील. USB ड्रायव्हर, ADB इंटरफेस ड्रायव्हर किंवा अँड्रॉइड USB ड्रायव्हर हे तुम्ही काय करा, डाउनलोड करा. तुमच्यापैकी कुणाकडे एखादा मोबाईल असेल तर मला मोबाईलचा मॉडेल नंबर सांगा, मी तो तुम्हाला सर्च करून दाखवतो. कॅन यू प्लीज लेट मी नो एनी वन ऑफ यू युअर मोबाईल मॉडेल. कोणी एका दुसऱ्याने मला प्लीज मेसेज करून सांगा. अँड्रॉइड डिव्हाइस. ओके, ॲटलिस्ट जेलीबीन ही ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम असायला पाहिजे. आय विल सर्च हिअर द ADB इंटरफेस ड्रायव्हर फॉर झोलो. दॅट इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप विच इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. सेकंड स्टेप काय आहे मी तुम्हाला सांगेन. ओके, दिस इज द सेकंड स्टेप, इन्स्टॉल ADB इंटरफेस ड्रायव्हर. हा ADB इंटरफेस ड्रायव्हर तुम्हाला इन्स्टॉल करायचा आहे आणि तो तुम्हाला गुगलवरून फाइंड करावा लागेल, त्याला दुसरा कुठला पर्याय नाही आहे. ओके, मी माझ्या मोबाईलसाठी लागणारा ड्रायव्हर डाउनलोड केलेला आहे आणि हा ड्रायव्हर इन्स्टॉल केल्यानंतरच तुमच्या एक्लिप्समध्ये तुम्हाला तुमचा मोबाईल डिस्प्ले होणार आहे आणि तुमच्या मोबाईलवरती तुम्हाला आउटपुट डिस्प्ले करता येणार आहे. सो कॅन यू प्लीज टेल मी एनी वन ऑफ यू युअर मोबाईल डिस्क्रिप्शन. तुमच्यापैकी कुणाच्याही एखादं मोबाईल स्पेसिफिकेशन मला सांगा. पॅनासोनिक P55 नोवा. ओके, दीपक चौधरी सर. ओके, तर तुम्ही इथे काय टाईप करा, पॅनासोनिक P55 नोवा. व्हॉट इज दिस? नोवो. ओके, ADB इंटरफेस ड्रायव्हर डाउनलोड असं तुम्हाला टाईप करायचं आहे गुगलमध्ये. ओके, तर तुम्हाला इथे असं एक मेसेज येईल बघा, डाउनलोड पॅनासोनिक USB ड्रायव्हर्स. ओके, डाउनलोड पॅनासोनिक USB ड्रायव्हर्स. ओके, तर तुम्हाला याला क्लिक करायचं आहे किंवा पॅनासोनिक P55 KitKat USB ड्रायव्हर फॉर विंडोज असे जे बटन तुम्हाला दिसतील याला तुम्हाला क्लिक करायचं आहे आणि क्लिक केल्यानंतर एक छोटासा 9-10 MBचा सेटअप डाउनलोड होतो. तुम्हाला डाउनलोड केल्यानंतर डिव्हाइस मॅनेजरमध्ये जायचं आहे. इथे बघा, डाउनलोड विंडोज. ओके, विंडोज ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टीमसाठी लागणारा जो ड्रायव्हर आहे तो इथून तुम्ही डाउनलोड करा. दीपक चौधरी सर, ही लिंक कॉपी करून मी इथं पेस्ट करतो आहे. डायरेक्टली तुम्ही या वेबसाईटवर जावा, या ब्ल्यू कलरच्या बटनला क्लिक करा, जी फाईल डाउनलोड होईल ती एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट करा आणि एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट करून तुम्ही इन्स्टॉल करा. दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप. नाउ व्हॉट इज द सेकंड स्टेप? सेकंड स्टेप अशी आहे की तुमच्या मोबाईलमध्ये तुम्हाला सेटिंगमध्ये जायचं आहे. ओके, इन युअर मोबाईल गो टू सेटिंग्स. तुम्ही आत्ता पण करू शकता लगेच चालू सेशनमध्ये. तुम्ही सेटिंगमध्ये क्लिक करा, गो टू द सेटिंग ऑप्शन. तुमच्या सेटिंग नावाच्या ऑप्शनमध्ये क्लिक करा मोबाईलमध्ये आणि सेटिंग ऑप्शनमध्ये क्लिक केल्यानंतर सर्वात शेवटी तुम्हाला असा एक आयकॉन दिसेल, डेव्हलपर ऑप्शन. ओके, डेव्हलपर ऑप्शन्स. कुणाच्या मोबाईलमध्ये डेव्हलपर ऑप्शन दिसत नसेल तर मला प्लीज सांगा. तुमचा मोबाईल ओपन करा, अँड्रॉइड मोबाईल, आणि त्या मोबाईलमध्ये तुम्ही सेटिंगमध्ये जा आणि सेटिंगमध्ये गेल्यानंतर डेव्हलपर ऑप्शनमध्ये जा आणि या डेव्हलपर ऑप्शनमध्ये गेल्यानंतर तुम्हाला काही ऑप्शन्स ॲक्टिवेट करायचे आहेत. या डेव्हलपर ऑप्शनमध्ये गेल्यानंतर तुम्हाला ऑप्शन कोणते ॲक्टिवेट करायचे आहेत. तर त्याच्यामध्ये पहिला ऑप्शन असा आहे USB डिबगिंग. हा ऑप्शन तुम्हाला ॲक्टिवेट करायचा आहे, म्हणजे चेकमार्क ऑन करायचं आहे. ओके, तुम्ही प्लीज मोबाईल ओपन करा, मोबाईलमध्ये सेटिंगमध्ये जा आणि सेटिंगमध्ये गेल्यानंतर USB डिगिंग नावाचं ऑप्शन ऑन करा. त्याच्यानंतर अजून एक ऑप्शन तुम्हाला ॲक्टिवेट करायचं आहे, अलाव मॉक लोकेशन्स. हा एक ऑप्शन तुम्हाला ॲक्टिवेट करायचा आहे. अलाव मॉक लोकेशन हा एक ऑप्शन तुम्हाला ॲक्टिवेट करायचा आहे. मोनाली गायकवाड, डेव्हलपर ऑप्शन नॉट डिस्प्लेड. ओके, तुमचा डेव्हलपर ऑप्शन दिसत नसेल तर तुम्ही एक काम करा, अबाउट फोनला क्लिक करा. अबाउट फोन तुमच्या सेटिंगमध्ये सर्वात शेवटी अबाउट फोन नावाचं एक ऑप्शन असणार आहे. अबाउट फोन दिसतोय? हॅलो, अमोल सोनवणे सर, मोनाली गायकवाड मॅडम, तुमच्या सर्वांसाठी मी सूचना सांगेन की अबाउट फोन नावाचा ऑप्शन दिसतोय तुम्हाला, अबाउट फोन. आणि अबाउट फोनमध्ये गेल्यानंतर तुम्हाला बिल्ड नंबर नावाचा एक ऑप्शन दिसेल बघा, बिल्ड नंबर दिसतोय का मला सांगा. अमोल सोनवणे सर, कॅन यू सी द बिल्ड नंबर ऑप्शन? तुम्हाला काहीतरी बिल्ड नंबर दिसेल बघा तिथे. ओके फाईन. तुम्हाला आता कंटिन्युअसली काय करायचं आहे, त्या बिल्ड नंबरला क्लिक करत जायचं आहे. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 असं तुम्हाला 5 ते 10 वेळा टॅप करायचं आहे. आणि जेव्हा तुम्ही त्या बिल्ड नंबरला एक 4-5 वेळा 10 वेळा तुम्ही असं क्लिक कराल, ओके, तुम्हाला एक मेसेज येईल, यू आर नाव अ डेव्हलपर असा एक ऑप्शन तुम्हाला येईल. असा एक टोस्ट मेसेज तुम्हाला डिस्प्ले होईल. प्लीज ट्राय. ओके. आणि तो मेसेज डिस्प्ले झाल्यानंतर जर परत एकदा तुम्ही बॅकला क्लिक केलं आणि सेटिंगमध्ये शेवटी बघितलं तर डेव्हलपर ऑप्शन तुम्हाला उपलब्ध झालेला दिसतोय. झालेला आहे का पहा. ओके. नाव गो टू डेव्हलपर ऑप्शन. डेव्हलपर ऑप्शनमध्ये जा आणि हे 2 ऑप्शन ॲक्टिवेट करा. हे ऑप्शन ॲक्टिवेट केल्यानंतर हे ऑप्शन ॲक्टिवेट करताना तुम्हाला काही मेसेज बॉक्स जर दिसतील ओके वगैरे, तर तो मेसेज तुम्ही ओके करा, कॅन्सल करू नका. ओके. आणि एवढं केल्यानंतर तुम्हाला तुमची फर्स्ट ॲप्लिकेशन टाईप करता येणार आहे. फर्स्ट ॲप्लिकेशन तुम्हाला टेस्ट करता येणार आहे. तर पहा, मी तुम्हाला याच्या आधी अजून एक स्टेप सांगेन. इन्स्टॉल जावा. पहिल्यांदा मी सांगेन तुम्हाला इन्स्टॉल जावा इन्स्टॉल करा. जावा इन्स्टॉल केल्यानंतर काय करा, सेट एन्व्हायरमेंट व्हेरिएबल्स मीन्स क्रिएट पाथ व्हेरिएबल. तुम्हाला पाथ व्हेरिएबल क्रिएट करायचं आहे. जावामध्ये पाथ नावाचा जो व्हेरिएबल आहे तो व्हेरिएबल तुम्हाला क्रिएट करायचा आहे. पाथ व्हेरिएबल क्रिएट केल्यानंतर काय करायचं तुम्हाला, मी तुम्हाला एक काल मेल केलेली आहे, ADD बंडल डाउनलोड ADD bundle.zip फाईल तुमच्या मेलवरती मी सेटअप पाठवला आहे, तो तुम्हाला डाउनलोड करायचा आहे. डाउनलोड केल्यानंतर मी 32 बिटची पण कॉपी तुम्हाला आता कॉपी करून देणार आहे. काल मी जो पाठवला आहे तो 64 बिट पाठवला आहे. 32 बिट ADD बंडलची पण मी तुम्हाला लिंक आता देणार आहे 2 मिनटामध्ये. त्याच्यानंतर 4th नंबर स्टेप अशी आहे की कॉपी दिस ADD bundle.zip कॉपी दिस ADD bundle.zip टू सी ड्राईव्हला कॉपी करा. आणि त्याच्यानंतर काय करायचं आहे, एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट करायचं तुम्हाला. एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट द ADD bundle.zip ही फाईल काय करा, एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट करा. ही फाईल एक्स्ट्रॅक्ट केल्यानंतर तुमचा मोबाईल तुमच्या डिव्हाइसला कनेक्ट करा. या स्टेप्स तुम्हाला एकदाच करायला लागणार आहेत. या ज्या स्टेप्स आहेत त्या एकदाच करायला लागणार आहेत. ओके. दीज स्टेप्स आर फॉर इन्स्टॉलिंग द एक्लिप्स. या स्टेप्स कशासाठी आहेत, एक्लिप्स इन्स्टॉल करण्यासाठी आहेत. आणि या स्टेप्स कशा आहेत, मोबाईल कॉन्फिगर करण्यासाठी आहेत. दीज आर दी स्टेप्स फॉर कॉन्फिगरिंग द मोबाईल.